Wow guys, have you ever seen anything like it? Snap stock down 20% one day and then trading 50% up the next day. Something is wrong with the market when we have a high quality company like Snapstock trading exactly like a penny stock with such volatility. Now the company has reported their earnings. They did particularly well, it has to be said, and that came as such a shock to the market that there has been a complete flip in the way the company was valued. So today we're going to delve into exactly why that is and what the future is for Snapstock. Hey guys, welcome to the snapshot analysis. So here we are, 50% up in a single day, and just look at the state of that chart there, ticking along at $32 before the sell-off, down to $26 a share, actually trended down to $24, and now all the way back up at $37 a share. That is absolutely insane. What a turnaround in the space of 24 hours, and a difference that strong earnings can have versus weaker earnings. We all saw what happened to Facebook yesterday. Now Snapchat has been on the flip side of that and has reinstalled some confidence in the company going forward. So the share price, the market cap is now back up at $80 billion. So a quick recap and a sprint through Snapchat's earnings. So they reported their fourth quarter on Thursday and obviously beat analyst estimates in terms of earnings, revenue and user growth, which has been the most profitable quarter for Snap in its history, which is obviously absolutely excellent news. It comes off the back of other social media stocks getting absolutely hammered, and it reported its earnings per share of 22 cents versus 10 cents expected, which was obviously double. Revenue of 1.3 billion versus 1.2, and then daily active users 319 million versus 316.9, and then average revenue $4.06 versus $3.79. So obviously absolutely smashed it. It also increased its guidance range up from the 1.01 billion to more like 0.308 billion, which is absolutely fantastic. So we'll be watching closely as investors in this going forward. So Snap obviously doing much better than the likes of Meta and Facebook at the moment based on the strong earnings reports. So we're just going to dive on back across and have a look at the ratings for this company. So it's currently got 22 analyst buy ratings against it, 1 overweight, which is very similar, and 8 hold. Its current low stock price target is $36. It's only $1 ahead of that. The actual average consensus is $57 a share, and the high is $81 a share. That's a little bit out of date there because the share price is now at $37. But even so, that is at the low range of analyst estimates. And when we dive into the financials, you can see why the company bounced back just so quick. It's got a decent amount of cash on hand. In terms of cash only, it maintains about $500 million. If we have a look at their income, the income has pretty much done pretty well since 2016 through to where we are in 2020. The revenue has grown massively well, and that stands to continue as reported for 2021 earnings. If we hop on back to the more analysis here, you can see that they've beat every single EPS estimate all the way through, and the gap here is actually widening on what they actually produced versus what analysts expected. So again, we're going to be looking closely at that for quarter 1 2022. I know that's a while away, but people will be keeping a very close eye on that. You can see revenue growing through just nicely here as well. And then, as already mentioned, the buy rating is sitting just below a 2, but at the very low range of analyst estimates. So Snap has done particularly well, and there's another reason for this. This share price and the share as a whole, the company as a whole, has a lot of institutional ownership. There's 34% institutional stock ownership. Mutual fund ownership also sits at 30%, and then insider ownership is 10%, and then retail investors make up the rest. So there's an awful lot of funds holding up this company, and they have actually just netted an absolute fortune with the company making a 50% jump in a day. I would be aware of some profit taking either towards the end of trading today or early on into next week, just because some people will have made a pretty decent fortune buying in just late yesterday and then it absolutely flying up today. There will be some people that ultimately take that profit. Now, looking into the top 10 institutional holdings by shares, you can see that we've got the the people that you would genuinely expect to have there. You got the likes of BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Chase, Vanguard, all holding a significant amount of shares in the company. So these guys might not sell too many of their shares. They might hold on a little bit longer, but you can bet that there are going to be some people that will take that profit. I mean, a 50% profit overnight is absolutely a fantastic return on anybody's investment. So I wouldn't be surprised if this happens going forward. It's been a super interesting thing for me to look into this, because the way it's traded has just been exactly like a penny stock. It's been so volatile. To lose so much value in one day and then recover it and surpass that in the next, it's just absolutely fantastic. And it just surprises me so much how the market can be just as volatile as it is at the moment with these high quality companies just like Snapstock. So I'm going to be watching this one closely. I don't actually have a position at the moment. It's just something that really piqued my interest, and I really wanted to dive into it and have a look for you guys. What happened to Snapstock just proves how inconsistent the market can actually be. You've got downward factors and downward sentiment to all social media stocks really weighing heavy on the stock and pulling it down such a long way from where it was, and even that would be considered as a discount in terms of what analysts rated a share price to be at. And then you've got all that sentiment. Obviously Facebook sold off, so they pulled that down massively on the share price, and then actually go ahead and release some really good solid earnings and beat on absolutely everything, and then it sort of overcorrects itself. So the share price has then vaulted back up by 50% and gone skyrocketing past the where the share price actually was just a couple of days previous. And that just proves to me that the market really doesn't know what it's doing with tech stocks, social media stocks at the moment. 1 minute they're getting absolutely hammered and being destroyed, and then literally less than a couple of hours later they're getting bigged up and back to the original valuation that it was at, if not higher. This company has a bright future ahead of it. It is narrowing its losses and starting to actually turn over a profit. The revenue has been growing from year on year. It's never really slowed down. It just has never reported a profit. So that's what investors are probably now getting excited about. It's something to watch closely for the future, because this potentially Snapstock will not be the only stock out there that trades like a penny stock and then bounces itself back together just nicely, and it won't be the only time that this happens. So it's just something to keep an eye on for the future, because there could be a serious amount of money just to be made in a quick swing trade that only takes you literally less than 24 hours to commit and make a 50% profit. Thank you very much for watching today's video, guys. Absolute pleasure to dig through and get you some information as always. If you could see your way to smashing the like button and consider subscribing to the channel on the way out, that'd be absolutely awesome. I'll see you in another investing episode. Catch you later.